Welcome back, folks. We're going to talk today about the Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. If you're still looking for a literary analysis paper, a couple more days. There's a lot going on in this play, as I'm sure maybe you've read, and a lot to discuss. Let's take a look at a couple of things here. We have the characters. We have Tom, who is largely based on Tennessee Williams himself. Laura based on his sister Rose. Tom is, let's see, um, yeah, as I said, based on Tennessee Williams, lived in St. Louis with an unstable mother and sister. His father was largely absent. Tom is our narrator. His recollections of the play. And at the beginning, he does something kind of fascinating. He steps out. Well, in TV, we'd say he broke the fourth wall. In theater, there is no fourth wall. It's just you and the audience. There's nothing really separating you except for the middle distance. Well, he breaks the convention of character and addresses the audience directly. And he says, and he tells you about the set, almost like a stage manager or a narrator, a chorus in a Greek play, setting up everything. He says, all right. He tells you how many characters there are, and says that that there's one character who is here but not here, and it points to the portrait of his father. Tom works in a shoe factory. Let's see. He is literary. He wants to be a poet, but at the same time, he's grounded. He's trapped in the Wingfield household. We know he writes poetry. We don't know what it's all about. His co-worker Jim calls him Shakespeare. Let's see. Then we have Amanda. She is the signature faded Southern belle. What do we know about Amanda? Well, life didn't turn out like Amanda wanted it to, did it? No, absolutely not. We know this by her dialogue. She is sort of trapped in this mythical past where she was the belle of the ball and had so many different suitors. It was a different time and a different place. Yeah. In Williams' play, she suffered a reversal of emotional and economic fortune. She is deep into her past and cannot accept her fate, that she is more or less trapped here in this place with her two children and abandoned by her husband. She refuses to see Laura as anything more than a cripple. In fact, you could say that she probably needs Laura to be a cripple to justify her existence in her life, her failure. In a way, she can use Laura as a means by which she can excuse herself for not doing more with her life. She does, however, sacrifice her children for her children without complaint. And finally, Laura. Laura, the most fascinating and perhaps interesting character in the play. The only innocent, really. She is the only character who does not do anything to hurt anyone else. She is physically and emotionally crippled. She has a trouble with her leg. It's never really stated for sure what it is exactly. Maybe a touch of polio, but she wears a brace. She has the finest lines in the play, further revealing that she is the most selfless. She's presumed to be transparent, like glass, so the other characters impose their own thoughts and views on her. They compare themselves to Laura. Now, it's called the Glass Menagerie because Laura has this collection of glass figurines. They're delicate, fanciful, old-fashioned, but full of delights for those who choose to look at her in the right light, like Jim, who'll show up later. The glass unicorn, of course, is symbolic of Laura, and unique and extinct in modern times, lonely because it's different. Different from other horses. When the unicorn's horn breaks while Laura is dancing with Jim, it's the same as her losing her uniqueness through Jim's touch. He is breaking her uniqueness by treating her as a normal girl, which she is, really. Blue Roses, this is Jim's nickname for her. It's based on a misunderstanding. She was sick with pleurosis, and he asked her why she was out of school, and she said pleurosis, and he thought, blue roses? Yeah. It's symbolic of her unusualness and allure. Also references. It's also a reference to Tennessee Williams' sister Rose. Now, the set plays a huge role in this play. Not just the apartment itself, but the fire escape. Now, notice Tom always comes and goes through the fire escape. Excuse me. Save for the moment when he brings Jim to the house to meet Laura for dinner. Right? And why is this symbolic? Well, what is Tom always hoping to do? Tom is always trying to get away. He feels trapped. All of the characters are trapped here. They're trapped by the tensions of family and personal failure and their fear about anything else. They're trapped by their pasts, and they're trapped by their memories. Amanda by the memory of their father and about her past in the Mississippi as a sort of Southern belle. Amanda's trapped by her own insecurities and her deformed leg, which ultimately is no deformity at all. But she is largely trapped by her mother's need to have Laura as a cripple, as an invalid, someone that she has to take care of, so she can excuse the life that she has. Right? Tom always comes and goes to the movies and beyond through the fire escape. Laura tries to access the fire escape and she trips, which tells us while Tom had some measure of freedom, he had some ability to escape, Laura doesn't. Excuse me. So, major themes, set pieces, we talked about that. Let's look at a couple of scenes here. Excuse me. So, let's see, in scene 2 here, Laura says, "Mother, you're disappointed that you get that awful suffering." Let's see. "Mother, when you're disappointed, you get that awful suffering look on your face, like the picture of Jesus' mother in the museum." Amanda says, "Hush, I couldn't face it." This is when she finds out that Laura has dropped out of business college. Amanda hopelessly fingering the bulge and fingering her huge pocketbook. "So what are we going to do the rest of our lives? Stay home and watch the parades go by? Amuse ourselves with the Glass Menagerie, darling? Eternally play the worn-out phonograph records your father left us as a painful reminder of him? We won't have a business career. We've given that up. It gave us nervous indigestion." She laughs wearily. "And what is there left but dependency all our lives? I know so well that what becomes of unmarried women who aren't prepared to occupy a position. I've seen such pitiful cases in the South, barely tolerated spinsters living upon the grudging patronage of the sister's husband or the brother's wife, stuck away in some little mousetrap of a room, encouraged by one in-law to visit another, little bird-like women without any nest, eating the crust of humility from their life, all their life. Is that the future that we've mapped out for ourselves? I swear, the only alternative I can think of. It isn't a very pleasant alternative, is it? Of course, some girls do marry." Okay. Now think about this. She is talking, Amanda here is talking about Laura. She's talking about her prospects, talking about business college, about what the future may hold for her. But she doesn't say you, she says we. You see, Laura is Amanda's retirement plan. Okay. They're a package deal. Wherever it is that Laura ends up, Amanda's going with her. She's going to be coming along. And so she's hoping that, she's looking at first that, well, I'll send my daughter to business school and she'll support me. Or she'll get married. She'll get married and I'll go live with my son-in-law and my daughter for the rest of my life, which would be pretty miserable existence for all involved, as it is right here. When she says, "What are we going to do? Watch the parade? Stay at home and watch the parades go by?" Well, isn't that what she's already done? Yeah, it is. She talked about the number of suitors she had as she was a child, and how much she liked John Quills, and how everyone brought her John Quills and her 17 suitors and all that. And there's a sense of defeat and disappointment that Laura doesn't have all these, and it's sort of imposed upon Laura by her mother. Yeah. And perhaps all that pressure to perform all these years, all that pressure to be popular, be the belle of the ball, is what got Laura into this position as it is. That and her trouble with her leg, which she's always been self-conscious about. All right. Let's see now. Let's skip ahead here. Yeah. All right. At the very end of scene 2, there is a discussion. Let's see. Amanda says, "Girls that aren't cut out for business careers usually wind up married to some nice man." She gets up and, with a spark of revived, "Sister, that's what you'll do." Laura says, "But mother," Amanda says. "Yes," Laura says in a tone of frightened apology, "I'm crippled." Amanda says, "Nonsense, Laura. I've told you never to use that word. Why, you're not crippled. You have a little defect, hardly noticeable even. Some people have a slight disadvantage like that, and they cultivate other things to make up for it. Develop charm and vivacity and charm. That's all you have to do." She turns again to the photograph. "One thing your father had was charm." Now here's the thing though, but Amanda needs her to be crippled. She encourages her. She says, "Oh, no, you're not crippled. You're not crippled." But in a way, you'll hear in the conversations that she has with Tom, we got to look after Laura. She can't look after herself. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Scene 3. Tom comes home. The 3 characters essentially are trapped together in a small apartment in kind of a rundown area of St. Louis. And let's see. It's just after Amanda gets off the phone, Tom comes in and goes, "What in Christ's name am I?" And Shirley says, "Don't use that." And Tom says, "Supposed to do it, Amanda. Expression, not in my..." Tom, "Oh, presence," Amanda continues. "Have you gone out of your senses?" "I have, that's true. Driven out." Amanda says, "What is the matter with you, you big idiot?" "Look," Tom says, I have got no single thing." Amanda says, "Lower your voice," because Laura's close by. Right? "In my life that I can call my own, everything is..." Amanda says, "Stop that shouting." Tom says, "Yesterday you confiscated my books. You had the nerve to..." "I took the horrible novel back to the library. Yes, that hideous book by the insane Mr. Lawrence." Tom laughs wildly. "I cannot control the output of diseased minds or people who cater to them. But I won't allow such filth brought into my house. No, 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 no." And Tom says, "House? House? Who pays rent? Who pays rent on it? Who dares make a slave of himself to..." Amanda says, "Don't you dare." And Tom says, "No, I mustn't say things. I've got to just..." And Amanda says, "Let me tell you." Tom says, I don't want to hear anymore." There's the portieres open. The dining room area was lit with a turgid and smoky red glow. We see Amanda, her hair in metal curlers. She's wearing a very old bathrobe, much too large for her, and her slight figure, a relic of the faithless Mr. Wingfield. Let's see. And the fight continues. Amanda says, "You will hear more." Tom replies, "No, I won't hear more of it. I'm going out. You come right back in." "Out, because I'm..." "Come back here, Tom Wingfield. I'm not through talking to you." "Oh, go..." And Laura cutting in, the peacemaker district says, "Tom!" All right. So Amanda continues to squeeze him here. He says, "You're going out to listen. You're going to listen, and no more insolence from you. I'm at the end of my patience, Tom says. What do you think I am at? What do you think I'm at? Aren't I supposed to have a little patience to reach the end of Mother? I know. I know it seems unimportant to you that what I'm doing and what you want, and what I want to do, having a little difference between them. You don't think that, and Amanda says, excuse me, Amanda says, I think you've done things that you're ashamed of. That's why you act like this. I don't believe that you go every night to the movies. Nobody goes to the movies every night. Nobody in their right minds goes to the movies as often as you pretend to. People don't go to the movies nearly midnight, and movies don't let out until 2 a.m. Come in stumbling, muttering to yourself like a maniac. You get 3 hours sleep and then to work. Oh, I can just picture the way you're doing down there, moping, doping because you're in no condition. Tom says wildly, "No, I'm in no condition." Man says, "What right have you got to jeopardize your job? Jeopardize the security of us all. How do you think we'd manage if you were?" And Tom says, "Listen, you think I'm crazy about the warehouse? You think I'm in love with the Continental Shoemakers? You think I'm want to spend 55 years there in Celotex interior with fluorescent tubes? Look, I'd rather somebody picked up a crowbar and yelling, 'Goddamn, rise and shine, rise and shine,' I say to myself. How lucky dead people are. But I get up. I go. For $46 a month, I give up all the dreams of doing all I've dreamed of doing ever. And you say self's all I ever got of. Self's all I ever think of. Why, listen, if self is what I thought of, Mother, I'd be where he is, gone." He points to his father's picture. "As far as the system of transportation reaches," he starts past her and she grabs his arm. "Don't grab me, Mother. Where are you going?" "I'm going to the movies." "I don't believe that lie." And then Tom, finally having had enough, delivers one of the most hilarious, intense monologues of the entire play. "I'm going to opium dens. Yes, opium dens. And the vice criminals, with the vice criminals, I'm sorry, dens of vice and criminal hangouts. Mother, I've joined the Hogan gang. I'm a hired assassin. I carry a Tommy gun and a violin case. I run a string of gambling houses in the valley. They call me the Killer, Killer Wingfield. I'm leading a double life, a simple, honest warehouse worker by day and by night, a dynamic czar of the underworld. Mother, I go to gambling casinos. I spend fortunes on the roulette wheel. I wear a patch over one eye, a false mustache sometimes. Sometimes I put on green whiskers. On those occasions, they call me El Diablo. Oh, I could tell you many things that make you sleepless. My enemies plan to dynamite this place. They're going to blow us all sky high. Some night, I'll be glad. I'm very happy, and so will you. You'll go up in the broomstick over the mountain, and with 17 gentlemen callers, you'll see, you ugly, babbling old witch." Okay, so Tom kind of loses it a little bit, right? He's had enough. He's been harassed and harried long enough. And this gives you a sense of the tension that's building up in the play. We have a mother with all these expectations and all these failed dreams. And so she is dependent on her kids, but she is so woefully unhappy and dissatisfied that she continues to press them, to oppress them, right? Tom has loftier dreams. He has a creative streak. He likes to write poetry and plays, and he gets in trouble at work for doing this on his breaks and taking his breaks. And then in the middle of this triumvirate here, between the two extremes, we have Laura, the peacemaker, the wounded child, the one who can't escape. So a lot of things going on here. You could write about the symbolism of the play. You could discuss the terse, tense family dynamic. You could even apply criticism of Tennessee Williams' life to the story, and we'll give you a sense of what's happening here. Anyway, that will get us all the way up through through scene 4. We'll pick it up there for the next class. I hope you're doing well. Stay safe. As always, email me with any questions or comments you might have about your drafts. Take care.